Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, good evening, Boise State fans. The scene at Albertsons Stadium a short time ago. The band getting ready, a big one for Boise State tonight on the blue against Fresno State. Speaking of the band, there they are. This is Lithia Ford of Boise, BroncoNationNews.com pregame show. We appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise. All of our great sponsors, RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union as well. You see the team making their way in for the Bronco Walk. Sold out crowd expected tonight. They announced that on Thursday. The game is sold out here for homecoming. And as we bring you in live here at the James, we got a special guest. Winston Venable is here with us to help preview this game, man. Appreciate you coming down.
Hey, BJ, love being here, man. Usually we spend some time on Wednesday, you know, via StreamYard, via Zoom type action, but now we're up close and personal, man.
We are, man, and you got to see our setup here. You're kind of impressed with how taking the show on the road here.
Dude, I love it, man. Absolutely love what you got going on here, especially at the James, and just, you know, this being a new building right across the street from campus. Love the vibe pregame here. This is an awesome little atmosphere.
It is. Our Colin's over here eating a pizza. Bring that pizza over here for a second, Colin. Let's get that in
Colin,
here.
what do we got?
Yeah,
what do we got right here? Do we know what we ordered?
Let's see what we got for the pizza here. Well, this looks pretty good. Wow, look at this. We got some meat pizza here. We may need to steal a piece, but look at this. This is so our
cut there.
Colin and Jaden not doing any work. They're just eating pizza over there the whole time. No, we appreciate Colin and Jaden. They did a great job helping get the clips that you're going to see. They helped did all the setup, and we appreciate both of them. And, yeah, you guys can enjoy your Mariners. By the way, 10-9 now? Seattle Mariners took a 10-9 lead in the top of the ninth inning, so they're over there watching that, eating their pizza. And this is a high-class establishment, man. They got
it really is. It's a good vibe.
They're making the martinis. I saw Coach Ridd over there. You got who else did I see? Thomas Spurbeck.
Some former Broncos
Sam
in the house.
McCaskill.
Yeah.
Look, we got a guy wearing a Bronco Nation news shirt right here. Get over here. Let's get it. Well, there we go. Look at this.
Yeah, there we go.
You never know who you're going to see when you walk by here.
Man?
We got give him the.
Michael, how you doing?
There you go.
Love the representing the Bronco Nation news right
there. You go, man. We're everywhere. So. He's a big fan of BNN After Dark. He was saying, yeah. Oh, look at that! Oh,
well, then we might have ran across each other, man. About 12 years ago.
Oh man, they're reminiscing about the famous Hale Street house.
Go,
they're over there. We can't discuss that on this show.
I know
though.
we can't take BNN After Dark into the pregame. No.
Maybe a post-game show. You, me, and Rid can get into it on a post-game show at some point. But no, this is that stuff's forbidden. Subscribers only to hear those stories. So keep that out there. But we got someone says the James sounds fancy. It is. It's a nice little place. Great day for a game. So as usual, get your score predictions in. Give us your shout-outs. Where are you watching the game from? Let's see how many countries we can get. Let's see how many states we can get wherever you're watching the game from. Let us know. By the way, thanks to Mike Walsh, just brought over some cards. I'm going to give these to my kids, but hopefully you went out to your local Jacksons and purchased your cards. You guys didn't have trading cards back when you played, right? That would have been pretty.
We had some Carl's Jr. cards.
Oh, that's
BJ,
right. You did have the Carl's Jr. cards.
I went with a little sneak attack there and tried to throw a old Kellen Moore Carl's Jr. card in there to trick the fans and say there is throwback packs.
There you go. And were you part of the bobblehead era too, or no?
Yeah, there was a Coach Pete bobblehead. A couple of my teammates had bobbleheads. I wasn't, balling enough to get my own bobblehead.
The JUCO guys, you got to earn. Yeah, you got to.
Had some teammates that held it down though.
Well, make sure you get your car. It's pretty cool that they're doing that. We got Air Force is on a 10-minute drive. Let's check the score of that game. 14-10, Air Force leads Utah State. That's 6 minutes left in the second quarter. That would actually be big for Boise State if Air Force could lose to Utah State. So 14-10, that's at Utah State. And you know what? Air Force 4-1, Utah State 1-4. It would be perfect Mountain West football for Utah State to find a way to beat them.
Yeah, BJ, I think this conference it's up for grabs, man. And obviously that one team, Air Force, is one that Bronco Nation has got their eye on. Always curious what those guys are doing. Understanding that one's going to be a tough battle, but Broncos got this thing in their hands if they want it.
Yeah,
with what's going on in the conference.
No doubt about it. And again, we'll take your they want the Golly guy back. I don't see the Golly guy here. We'll see maybe post game. I don't think he's had enough to drink yet. But we got Pocatello, we got Mountain Home, Lake Elsinore, California, starting to roll in. We got a Fresno State fan chiming in. Kirby Moore is ours. We'll see for how much longer, but Eagle, Idaho. So let us know your score predictions as well, or if you have a comment or a question for Winston. We appreciate him coming down here to help out and hang out here. The people are enjoying themselves in the background. They're eating pizza and watching the Mariners over here. We're having a lot of fun. Albany, Oregon checking in. We got Michael Renards from Wisconsin, but currently in Ohio. So we'll check out 2 states there. You mentioned the Mountain West, man. We talked about this a little bit on Wednesday, but as bad as it's been, 2-2, it hasn't gone. They were 2-2. It wasn't great, but you come back and figure things out in the second half. You beat San Diego State. You look up, you're undefeated in the Mountain West, and you got Fresno, who you can beat tonight. They're struggling. We mentioned Utah State struggling. All these preseason favorites. San Diego State last week. I mean, it's crazy to say, but you can make the argument Boise State's the best team in the Mountain West, are right up there with Air Force and some of these top teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it is crazy to say just from the downsides they have had this season. But when you look at it and peel it back like you just did, we're talking about 2-0 in conference going into the next one, and everything's right in front of them as far as the goals. And Boise State's always had the goal to win the conference in a bowl game, and that's still out there, and that gives those guys confidence to go out there and make a run for this.
As bad as that UTEP game was, and they have all the changes and all that, do you think it made it easier to kind of put that behind them and reset, knowing, okay, we're back into Mountain West play, we're 1-0 in Mountain West play, so we still have all these goals? I don't know how likely it is, but they could still go 10-2 and win the Mountain West and do all the things they wanted to do before the season started.
No, absolutely. And I think, Coach Avalos probably had that message to the guys. That's got to be the message, right? Where everything's still out in front of them, their goals still out for them to obtain. And like I said, that gives those guys confidence and drive to just continue to go at practice and go hard where, Mountain West championship. This is a very obtainable goal.
We got 42-17 is what Sherry says. Chase has 34-17, 49-17. So a lot of people expecting a little bit of a
I do like 17, though. I do like
for
17
for Fresno.
For Fresno, yeah.
Okay. Clint's out here watching in Santa Claus, Indiana. You ever been there?
Santa Claus, Indiana. No, I have not been to Santa Claus, Indiana.
No recruiting trips over there. Glad to always hear Winston, one of my all-time favorite Broncos. Cody says, Winston, when you were coaching, why did you make the switch to coach running backs? You were such a beast at linebacker.
Yeah, no, really, it was the opportunity to find another way to help the boys, right? So for me, I worked several positions with Boise State, came in as an intern, learned the operations role with Taylor Tharp, was an assistant coach for Coach Pittman in the weight room, worked special teams, running back. So it was really Lee Marks had left to go to Fresno State, and there was an opportunity that was sitting out there, and I wanted to make sure Coach Harsin knew that I wanted to try coaching. And there's no better position to try something and be an inexperienced coach than coaching running backs. It's really a instinctual position, and to be honest with you, there's a little less detail going into some of the assignments where a guy like myself being a defensive player could learn and grow on an offensive side of the ball at that running back position.
I know you're just loving this media thing and what you're doing out of media as well, but somebody's asking if there's any more coaching jobs for you in the future.
For right now, it's about pressing that pause button, exploring different opportunities.
It's a lot of hours, right?
It is
for someone with a young kid, right?
It's 100-hour weeks. It's sometimes getting out of the building at 12 o'clock and getting back in at 5 a.m. just to review the tape and make sure you're dialed in for position meetings. So fortunately, I just had a baby and he's 10 months old. Hayes James, and
that's awesome.
I'm going to spend some time with Hayes and press pause on the coaching.
Well, we're going to talk next Wednesday coming up about the other stuff you're doing off the field. You got some cool opportunities that you're doing as well, but we're happy that you're giving up a little bit of your time for this. I've gotten great comments, man. I think you're doing a great job I don't know if you consider yourself a media member, but at least dabbling in this right now, you're doing a good job, man. So we appreciate you doing this, and it's been fun. 24-6 is what Brent has. If we only have 2 losses going into the BYU game, maybe big noon kickoff will come. That would be an interesting one if they did a day game for BYU. We saw it in the second half. We saw the offense finally get going. The 28, or 35 unanswered points. I mean, do you just expect from the first play of the game the offense is going to look like that again, or now Fresno knows? Fresno has a little better idea what to game plan for. Then Boise State has to adjust. What's kind of the cat and mouse there, and what do you expect from Boise State's offense? Is what we saw in the second half what we're going to see right out of the gate for this game tonight?
Well, the biggest thing is I think what we saw was Dirk had an ability to adjust in the second half there. So whatever they come out with, right, I think they came out with some success in that second half, and they kept things simple, and the guys were successful with that. So why not come out with that again? Why not come out with some similar plays that were successful? But you also got to know they're looking at film and what is Fresno State's defense doing? What opportunities do they have there to be successful? So we'll see what that attack is. I'm not too sure what that is going in, but I would say with the monsters they have and with the legs that they have in the run game, Andy Avalos' record is 8-0, like we said, now with 140 yards rushing. So I would keep that up if I were them and try to really establish that.
What is that like though when now you had a little bit of the element of surprise from the last game? I mean, they knew with Talon what it was going to look like, but what now that there's a whole game on film and particularly the second half on tape for Fresno, what's that give and take now? Where Dirk Cutter was saying they just ran 5 plays in the second half and they couldn't stop them. I mean, now how do you how does Dirk adjust this offense? Because now Fresno State's going to have a little more of a heads up than what San Diego State did on what they're looking to do.
Yeah, well, the good thing with that is I can tell you that Boise State and Dirk Cutter and their offense, they've worked on more than 5 plays, right? So they have more in their arsenal, which they have not shown yet. So that's awesome, right? So who knows what we're going to see? And I think a lot of people think that, Talon Green is this type of quarterback that is only a threat in the run game. And personally, I've been there and I've seen it and I've been right beside him, and the dude can sling the rock. So when it's coming down to them working on being a balanced offensive attack, I think through some of these games, we're going to see Talon Green and his arm show up, and Bronco Nation is going to be surprised by it.
We see the Bronco walk going on here a little short time ago, and again, thank you to Colin and Jaden for helping get the footage of this. But you've been a part of some Bronco walks. What's it like coming into the stadium with the fans lined up and the band, and kind of seeing the tailgaters out there, and that kind of get the juices flowing a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just that big sense of pride, right? You're walking through and you got fans to the left and the right of you, and maybe you're able to give mom or dad a quick hug on the way in, and it's definitely just that you're starting to get that feeling. You're starting to get a little bit of those nerves going. You're starting to feel the atmosphere, and it's a big-time moment, just that little Bronco walk, and hopefully there's some tailgaters out there showing these boys some love.
Yeah, they're all doing well, speaking of which, there's a Fresno State tailgate. They had a little bit of a setup there. What kind of food were they cooking over at the Fresno State tailgate? Oh, they said Lunchables, I guess. They were cooking some Lunchables over at the No, I'm not sure what they had over there, but much quieter entrance for Fresno State. You've made the visiting walk into a stadium as well. Not here, but you take the buses, you get the police escort, you come on over. I mean, what's the feeling for the visiting team coming into, sometimes they do the day before walkthrough, sometimes they don't. And I know that the locker rooms aren't quite as nice on the road, are they?
No, I don't know, especially here, and that's fine though. The old varsity center across the way, they're keeping some things old school over there. So it's a cool thing when you come into a different stadium, especially like Albertsons Stadium at Boise State. It's a unique place. It's a special place. So as an opponent, you're trying to come in there and tear the place down, right? I mean, this is an iconic spot. This is the blue, right? So anytime you can go in there and fight and get that extra sense of urgency, I mean, that's what happens when opponents come into the Boise State. I mean, they're really trying to get that win, especially on the blue.
Now, I got a lot of flack on social media for this, but I'm not a fan of the black helmets or the black pants. I think homecoming especially, but in particular, all the home games, I think you should be wearing blue. Like, it's enough of a thing that ticks off the other team that Rocky Long had to make some comments and made it a headline that he didn't like it. Like, that's enough reason by itself where it should be. You're the only team in the country with a blue field. I think you should wear blue uniforms. I've said it plenty. Everyone's heard me. But anyway, somebody was asking what you think of the uniform combo here. Chase wants to know, are you a fan of the I don't remember if you wore that combination, but they did wear it in one of the Vegas Bowls, and there were a couple bowl games, I guess, that they wore it in.
No, on the blue, if I recall, which is a great week to talk about it.
Hold on a second. My intern, Jaden, is commenting from right over there, showing my age that I don't like the hey, go ahead and bring that pizza back on over, and we'll take it. I get him a pizza, and here they are. Here he is trying to take shots at me. But sorry, as you were saying.
No, I was saying the only other uniform I ever wore on the blue, other than all blue, was all orange against Fresno State. And I remember Pat Hill and the Fresno State media, and really at the time, everybody was complaining about blue on the blue. And all we really wore was blue on the blue. But for that game, I remember it was, we're going to change it up on them and basically whoop their tail in a different uniform. So we came out in all orange, and I think we won 61-10. And it really didn't matter whether we were wearing the blue or not. But it is tradition. I think Alex Tubner the other week when you guys were interviewing him, he said that he really respected that tradition. So it doesn't matter what our thoughts are. I can tell you this: there's a little bit of a committee. There is multiple people that are going into that decision. Recruiting matters these days. The swag,
is some receiver though, and some 3-star receiver in California watching the game tonight and going, "Oh, I'm committing, man. I like them. I like them BJ, uniforms."
It's crazy though.
Is it over?
At one point,
Mariners won. Not yet.
At one point, the facilities didn't matter. The jerseys didn't matter. It's all about being blue collar, hard work ethic, and we still have that. But you have to still cater to this new generation. And it is the swag. It is the facilities. This is a home for these guys for the next 4 years. And let's be honest, man. Instagram, social media, Twitter, that's what these guys like. And you got to look good out there.
What else offensively? We talked about the quote-unquote new look offense. It's going to be probably a little more run heavy. We were talking to Billy Bowens. He's like, hey, whatever is good for the team. But, I mean, Air Force has a tough time recruiting receivers because they know they don't pass the ball. If you're a receiver in this offense right now, how are you getting motivated, I guess, knowing that there may be a lot more runs and passes here moving forward?
No, I think they just have to be patient, BJ. I think it's going to end up being a really balanced offense with a run-heavy attack, right? Because if you can run that football and wear defenses down, that's really how you end up winning games. So it's not like these guys aren't going to throw it, and they're going to make the most out of their opportunities when they have a loaded box and they have to throw it. And we're going to see what quarterbacks can get that job done. I know Sam Vidlac was a guy that came in last week. Obviously, Dirt Cutter and the crew thought he was a guy that could throw it a little bit. Otherwise, they wouldn't throw him in there. So,
and he proved it with the pass to Billy Bowens, 53
absolutely.
yards. Yeah. Jason is watching from Virginia, Boise State fan for life. Did you go to the Virginia Tech game, Jason? If you live in Virginia, you let us know about that. Tradition matters, blue on the blue. Let us know again. We'll give you a shout out where you're watching from, and if you got a score prediction for tonight. We've talked a lot about the offense, but the defense has played really, really well. And again, holding the two Mountain West games, teams are only passing for like 135 yards total in the two games. I think it's like 11 of 44 or something. I think it's just crazy. And again, you're playing New Mexico and San Diego State, probably two of the lower quarterbacks in the league. But defensively, man, even last week they held them to 2 field goals early in the game, which kind of allowed the offense to get going a little bit. And you're only down 13-0 at half instead of 21-0 at half. What do you make of former linebacker yourself? What do you make of what the defense is doing right now?
Yeah, Boise State defense, Bronco Nation, the love affair right there, man. I mean, those two go hand in hand, and when those two are firing on all cylinders, watch out anybody in the country that comes to Boise State and Albertsons Stadium, and that's just the facts, man. I mean, we have one of the best defenses in the country. We're statistically,
yeah.
And you just look at last game for an example. We're talking about multiple false starts, multiple issues, communication
6, I believe,
issues.
yeah.
That is that's Bronco Nation, and that's that defense, and they're fueling off of it. And the people that are on the show right now that aren't subscribers, you get to hear about, guys like Jerron Johnson talking about the impact that Bronco Nation has on our BNN After Dark show.
He did actually have that clip. Maybe we could be nice to him and play that clip if we want to. But, yeah, he did. And, that's 14 false starts in 2 games. And a lot of them are coming down there at that south end zone where it curves in. But, I know sometimes it's kind of like the cliche thing to do. Oh, we got great fans and, Bronco Nation, best fans in the country, whatever. But when you're talking about 14 false starts in 2 games, you're talking about 3rd and 2 becoming 3rd and 7. They had at least one time they had 1st and goal at the 5. Now it's 1st and goal at the 10. That changes things. I mean, they're, 123 and 15 or whatever it is the last 20 years at home because they have good players. But there is something to do with the fans and the atmosphere in there.
Oh, yeah. You got to respect Bronco Nation, and you got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, I can remember my first game playing against Oregon, 2009. It felt like the ground was shaking. And we just get to be guys on defense running around like madmen hitting each other. But for the offense that has to communicate and run plays and all that, it is a tough deal, man. So Bronco Nation, big shout out to them.
Okay, we got Kennewick, Washington chiming in. PJ says, what's up, PJ and Winston? We're not going to answer the second question. What happened to your Jayhawks? Yeah, that was a tough one today. But between that and the Cardinals blowing it last night, it's been a rough 24 hours for my sports fandom. But we see J.L. Skinner doing his thing. You got Matlock. But to you, in terms of, DJ Schramm has been a guy that's come out of nowhere. Any reason why you think the defense is playing so well, and any guy in particular or position group that you think is kind of setting the tone right now?
No, I mean, I think earlier, I think we did a preseason show, and I talked about the linebackers, and DJ Schramm and Zeke Noah are having a heck of a season out there. So it's awesome seeing those guys as a group getting after it. But I think those guys are very well coached. I think Coach Spencer Danielson, Coach Avalos, who obviously has a huge impact with those guys. I mean, some of the brightest minds in college football are fueling into these guys, and then they're letting it loose, and they're having a lot of fun. Guys like J.L. Skinner and Tyreek Jones and a lot of these guys, they're excited to be out there, and they're having fun. And when you're having fun out there on the blue or wherever, and as talented as those guys are, it's dangerous.
DJ Schramm leads the team with 44 tackles. He was backing up Zeke Noah at the middle linebacker spot. Fall camp, they move him over to the other spot. They're trying to replace Riley Wimpy. But they moved Isaiah Banya over there. They had Brandon Hawkins, who's played there. I personally kind of took it as, good luck, but why are they doing this? I didn't believe in myself that DJ Schramm was going to be the guy that would win the spot, but I thought it was going to be Isaiah Banya's. Why else would you move him there unless he was going to play? And then DJ Schramm not only wins the starting spot, but he's been maybe the best player on defense all season. 44 tackles. He's got tackles for loss in the backfield. He's getting sacks. As a former linebacker, this dude's waited his 3-4 years, and you see a lot of guys that transfer out and leave, whatever. But DJ Schramm has waited his time. He's got more tackles this year than the previous 3 years of his entire career combined. What's it like seeing him at linebacker stick it out and get rewarded for it, man?
No, that's awesome because, I even coached that guy as one of the, he was one of my core special teams guys. And, you don't know exactly what his future projects. And, of course, as far as these guys develop and you think, they might have roles on defense, but DJ was always one of those guys you could rely on special teams, and his work ethic just is proving what he's doing right now. He's a high motor guy. He gets after it sideline to sideline, and he's a great tackler. And that's what you got to see from a Boise State linebacker. It doesn't matter about size or anything or speed. It's about your instincts, flying to the ball and making tackles, and DJ's doing that.
Eat that pizza, guys. We gotta when the show's over, we're out of here. So let's eat the pizza. They're watching their Mariners. You can take the
I'll take a slice on the way out,
take
boys.
the TV over. Yeah, whatever's left is for Winston. So eat your pizza, and we can go get out of here and go into the stadium here in a few minutes. You mentioned special teams. Mariners win. It's over. The Mariners
10-9.
The Mariners
Seattle
win.
with the win.
How about that? They're I assume dogpiling out in the field, and the Mariners are heading to the next round of the playoffs. Congrats to Johnny Ballgame, big diehard Mariners fan.
Oh, yeah.
So congrats to them. That's pretty cool. Now, you mentioned special teams. What do you make of the Aussie punter?
Yeah, I mean,
James Ferguson Reynolds. The first game, he got off to a little bit of a slow start, a little nervous, first real American football game. But he's got a unique style with that rollout, the rugby style that we haven't seen around here, and he's been pretty good. He had the one blocked in the one game. I forget which game that was. But for the most part, I guess that was UT Martin, right?
Yeah, 2 games ago, just dropped that.
Was that last week? Oh, that was last week. That was last week. Yeah, it was last week.
Blue,
yeah. I feel like Kirk Herbstreit has the bear, Chris Felica, that kind of gives him tells him when he's wrong and gives the stats to him in his ear. We got Colin over here helping us out. So yes, that was last week. He tried to pick it back up after dropping it, but overall, what do you make of him? And then you have Jonah, got off to a rough start, but he's getting better. And your take on the special teams?
Yeah, I think in the punting game, he was able to respond after that and was able to get a couple punts off. So we're all good there. And rolling out and using that Australian rugby style is something that's utilized in the game these days. So I'd like to see him run it one of these days, because I do tell you, a lot of punt return teams, they turn their back and they're on their high horse going back the other way. And when you do have that,
right, when you get the right look, it's coming.
You just got to always have your eye on that. So I don't know how.
What are you looking for? Is he just looking? I mean, is that why he rolls out and he just knows where the first down marker is?
Yeah, you just have to be patient. I mean, it's not one of those that you're trying to do on 4th and 16, but maybe 4th and 6.
Can he do that anytime he wants, or does there have to be a call where he take off if you can, or how's that work?
Oh, well, I can tell you this, BJ. I mean, if you do that on your own and you don't get it, you better watch out.
That'll be the last time.
Depending on who else is on your team. But you got to be a football player, and sometimes those instincts, your intuition, your gut, I mean, it's opportunity, and do you seize it?
Yeah, they're saying they don't want. They're saying they don't want to see the punter much tonight, though.
No, we want to get first downs and touchdowns.
What do you know? I'm trying to think. Did your time overlap as a player with Kirby more?
Kirby was a freshman when I was either a junior or a senior. I think I had 1 or 2 years with Kirby.
Do you know Kirby at all then? Or
yeah, I mean, I know Kirby, and you gotta respect the Moore family, right? I mean, those guys from dad down to older brother, younger brother, those guys are football guys. So Kirby's been with Fresno State, I want to say 6, almost 7 years now. So he's had his fair share of experience on the winning side against Boise State, and also on the losing side. And that's what we got going on tonight. It's become a rivalry. This is the milk can, and let's go. It's a hype game.
Did they whether when you coached or played, did they put that on the PowerPoint, or do they talk to the team about that, what it means and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think Fresno State weeks is one of those weeks where you rehash and reconnect with tradition. And it really is. I mean, there are some big time games that Boise State and Fresno State have battled with, and those are always reminded going into this game.
Well, you mentioned Lee Marks. Brian Harson's first year, 2014, were you here? I don't remember if you were when you got back.
No, I was not.
Okay, so Lee comes back as the assistant strength coach. He's trying to, have a little muscle on the sidelines at practice and trying to, earn his stripes, I guess, as the assistant strength coach. And I'm wearing a red polo. And again, it wasn't.
Don't come in with the red, BJ.
You can see that's where you're wrong. Now you're in the media. You can wear whatever you want. They can't tell. The main rule is you don't wear, stuff for the team you're covering. So I don't wear blue usually, and I don't wear orange, and you don't wear like a Boise State, polo or whatever. But, I'm not going to go, they're playing Fresno this week. I guess I can't do that, And yeah, I'm not going to usually try to wear the color of the other team. But this was like the second day of fall camp, okay? So I wear a red polo, and Lee Marks walks over and says, you can't wear the red polo. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not part of the program. I'm standing on the sidelines watching practice.
But he told you couldn't do it?
He did. And it was I was kind of stunned at first because I'm like, is this really happening? They're telling me I can't wear a certain color to practice. And then, so I kind of didn't challenge him that much on it, but I was like, kind of what? So the whole day I was steaming about it for 24 hours. The next day, another media member showed up on his own accidentally in a red shirt as well. And I see Lee Marks come beelining for him. So I said, all right. So I walk over and I said, he tells him, and I said, now, you can't do that, right? And he says, can't do what? And he goes, who are you? And I told him who I was. I said, I'm with the Idaho Press newspaper, BJ Rand. You can't tell. And long story short, we got into a fairly heated argument on the sidelines because I'm just a stickler for not wanting to, have someone tell me what I can do because I'm not, part of the program. right? They don't write my check. And so I would say for that entire season, anytime Lee Marks saw me, he would like stare me down and not say a word to me the entire time. And about a year or two later, long story short, I'm in the diaper aisle at Babies R Us, and Lee Marks is in the diaper aisle at Babies R Us, and we hashed it out over some Huggies, and we got a really good relationship now. So it was just kind of a misunderstanding, and we both got off on the wrong foot. But once he got elevated to running backs coach too, I was working with him a lot more, in terms of the media and stuff like that. But no, it wasn't a fist fight. They're saying we got in a fist fight over a red polo. It was just a heated argument, and I probably was a little stubborn about it. I didn't like, and it was that whole red and Fresno. I even wore a Cardinals sweatshirt today or earlier this week. I wasn't thinking because playoff baseball, I wore a red sweatshirt in there. And, it was Keaton, the manager, the ball boy Keaton. I can't think of his name. He said something about, really? Fresno week, you're wearing a red shirt? I said, it's Cardinals, man. Come on. He's like, all right, but they take that stuff pretty seriously.
Yeah, no, we do. I mean, it's blue and orange, right? So even as a staff member, I mean, you come in there with some red socks, some red anything, and you're going to get called out. But you just know not to do that. But every once in a while, a new guy comes in, and it's like, you're borderline tinkering with some things here. So Lee Marks, true Bronco.
Oh yeah,
wore the blue and orange.
Now he's at UW, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, he's a Husky now,
yeah.
But he'll always have that to his heart where he's going to make sure when it comes down to Boise State, Fresno State, or wearing red in the building, we just can't have that.
Well, the milk can will be on the sidelines. Boise State will hope to be keeping it. They won it last year, obviously, in Fresno with a pretty resounding win over a ranked team in Fresno last year. But they said, hashed it out over some Huggies. You never know what you'll hear on BNN. There you go. That's right. But as we kind of start to wrap this up, what is your keys to tonight's game? I know you don't know every single thing about Fresno State, but for Boise State to keep this thing going, get another win, stay undefeated in conference play, how do you look at this game tonight?
No, absolutely, BJ. I think with Fresno State and their quarterback, their first-string quarterback being out, the defense in Bronco Nation, they have got to start early and pressure and confuse this quarterback and rattle him early. If we can get the defensive side and Bronco Nation on our side early in the ball game, I think it's going to be a wrap. We'll let the offense gradually progress and take their time and figure this game out. But if the defense can come out strong early and really rattle this offense, pressure and confuse that guy, they tackle well, and they eliminate some big plays, I think Boise State and the Broncos have a really good shot.
Who we got? Are we going back to Jarrell Root on Wednesday, or who we got Wednesday?
Yeah, we're going to try to reach back out to Jarrell Root. We got a couple guys in the bank as far as really excited to join that show. And, every week, there's some more and more people viewing as far as, you throw those little clips out there, BJ, and a couple of my boys are saying, hey, man, I want to jump on and talk a little BNN After Dark with you.
That's funny. I didn't think of it working that way. It's worked to help us get a few more subscribers, but I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, they're getting a little jealous like we went on. Well, hopefully, Kellen and Coach Pete, I'm sure they're big social media guys. Hopefully they're watching it and they went on, right? But, we appreciate it, Winston. You can hear Winston on Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock on Bronco Nation News Live, the Winston Venable Show. And then Wednesdays at 8 p.m., we've got BNN After Dark, where Winston brings on a former player, and we have a lot of fun just kind of telling stories about his time at BSU and maybe get into some stories that you wouldn't tell like in a normal daytime setting. But we have a lot of fun, and we really, like I said, Winston, you're I don't know what your future holds or what you want to do in terms of media, man, but you got a bright future in this business if you want it. So we appreciate you coming on, and we'll let you get ready to watch this game tonight, and then Wednesday we'll break it down with you.
Hey, looking forward to it, BJ. Appreciate the platform, Bronco Nation News, and looking forward to keep building this thing with you, man.
Yeah, we the game hasn't started. The game didn't already start yet. Get out of here. No, Jaden tried to message me and said the Cardinals are down 2-0. It starts in 4 minutes. Believe me, it's why we're ending the show right now. So I'm well aware the game hasn't started yet. But by the way, quick note, the post-game show, we're usually here at the James. Because it's going to be midnight or whatever, they're going to be closed probably. So me and Rid will be up in the press box. First time in his career, Rid gets a press pass, and he'll be up in the press box after the game. So we'll have the post-game show for you on all the social media channels, but we'll just be up in the press box, and then we'll be back at the James for the next home game, which is Colorado State, I think, the last weekend in October. So appreciate it. Thanks again, Winston. Thanks to all the comments, and sorry I didn't get to them all. There was a lot of ones that I couldn't get to, but we appreciate everybody for checking us out. Enjoy the game. coming up at 7:45. It says Fox Sports 1, but you're going to have to watch out because the previous game's not going to be over, so it's probably going to be.
Are we going to be able to? I mean, I'm going to be at the house, BJ. Am I going to be able to switch
Fox
over
Sports
and get it
2,
from
I
the,
think. I mean,
from
you probably,
the start, though?
You've got so much money in the bank. I'm sure you've got
Negative.
like the highest possible TV
YouTube
package
TV,
there is.
man.
Yeah, there you go.
YouTube TV.
You'll get it then. I think you'll get
Trying
it.
to find out if we got a Bronco Nation
You'll be good.
News TV
We
one
got to
day.
get a
We'll
channel.
figure it out.
Yeah, we're working on that, man. We got
All
for
right.
now. We got not YouTube TV, just the regular YouTube channel. So make sure folks are following us there. But enjoy the game, folks. We'll be back post game with Rid. Boise State, Fresno State, 7:45, the homecoming game. Appreciate you for checking us out. Thanks again to Colin Mitchell, Jaden Finch, the whole Bronco Nation News crew. They're doing a great job. And again, as always, Winston Venable. So have a great night. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you afterwards. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.